And that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from higher top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And folks, welcome to Thursday night, January the 29th in the year of our good Lord 2026. And welcome in. I'm glad to have you guys aboard. It's a snowy, cold time in the Northeast and around the country for that matter. Even Florida going to get hit with a big cold streak this weekend. So there's nowhere to hide. So if you like the cold weather, great. If you don't, you don't. I don't mind the cold weather if I could just stay home. You know, when I got to get up in the morning and walk out the door and then drive in this and then try to find places to park, it sucks. The weekend, I was home. I didn't leave the house from Saturday at noon until Monday at about 1 o'clock. I was 48 hours stuck in the house. I was happy and thrilled. I had all the things I need, and it was fine. But the minute I had to leave the house, I cursed it all out. So I hope you guys got through the Snowmageddon and get ready for the bomb cyclone. That's right. We got a bomb cyclone coming this week. And that's what they tell us. I don't know how much snow it's going to be. Most people say we're not going to get much snow here, but it's supposed to be very windy and cold. So batten down the hatches, throw a couple logs on the fire, make sure you got plenty of food, alcohol, and whatever it is you do while you're stuck in the house, and get prepared. So it's supposed to be some bad traveling Saturday and Sunday, which might affect the Hard Rocket Sports Band's first practice. Better safe than sorry. But let's hope we get that practice in this weekend, our first one. Lots to talk about tonight. Lots going on. I would say in football, coaches good. The Cleveland Browns finally got their head coach in Todd Monken, the former Ravens offensive coordinator. It was, I think, their fifth or sixth choice. Matt, of course you did. Of course, you're probably the only man in America who's not drafting people who taped the Senior Bowl and will be watching it. So you're a maniac, but that's okay. That's what Matt does. I will not be watching the Pro Bowl. I promise you that. The Pro Bowl is officially the worst all-star game of all all-star games. It is the worst one. We'll get into what Shedeur Sanders and all that. So bite it. It's the worst. I don't care about flag football. I don't care who's on the roster. I don't care about all that. It is the absolute worst thing. Don't call it the Pro Bowl. Don't call it the NFL, NFL All-Star game. Don't call you don't even have to call it skills competition. Just call it the NFL gets a free weekend in Hawaii or week in Hawaii, and a bunch of advertisers pay for it, because that's all it is. I could, as a huge football fan of 50 plus years, I could care less. I didn't care about when they actually try to play a game. Okay, I haven't cared about the Pro Bowl in probably 25 years. I certainly don't care about it now. So if you're watching the Pro Bowl this weekend, please seek medical attention. You have a problem. So I am not watching the Pro Bowl. I could care less that Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl quarterback with 7 touchdowns and 10 INTs. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And we'll talk about a lot of jokes. We got Baseball Hall of Fame. We got Football Hall of Fame. We got Super Bowl. We got the AFC NFC Championship games from this past weekend. What else we got here? We got Phillip Rivers. We got coaching. Phillip Rivers takes himself out of the coaching search. They hire Joe Brady. Mike McCarthy gets a job in Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a whole bunch of other stuff tonight. Big topic is going to be obviously the Hall of Fame, the snub of not only Bill Belichick, but of Eli Manning. Okay, we'll talk about that whole ridiculousness. So much to get to tonight. Again, we'll talk about this weekend's, past weekend's games, and anything else that pops up on the show tonight. So God bless. I just want to clarify something, guys. I put up a quick post on Facebook, and it's probably my first political post in a long time. And in case anybody doesn't understand what I mean, I'll say it out loud real fast, and then we're going to get to the show. I don't care anymore about anything. Anybody complaining about protests, anybody about people getting killed in protests, any of that stuff, I could care less. When all of you Democrats come up and say, by the way, Joe Biden should go to jail, Mayorkas should go to jail, and all the illegals that are here should be out of the country, and let's figure out to do it in a nice way, I'm all for it. Until then, I could care less about Alex Preddy and Good and all of them. I could care less. Okay? You guys didn't care when all those poor girls were getting raped and murdered and slaughtered. I could care less about them because the Democrats and Joe Biden and anybody who voted for them, that's what you did, that you caused this. So I don't want to hear anymore. Don't complain about ICE, Border Patrol, law enforcement, or the president. They're fixing what you guys caused. So until you fix it, until you come own up to it, I could care less. That was my post. That's what I meant. I'm past it. I'm done. Let's get the show started. Let's talk sports. Let's talk some music, and let's talk about the bomb cyclones. Let's see if Jeff is fearful of a bomb cyclone. Jeff, are you worried about a bomb cyclone this weekend?
No. Well, actually, yes. That's a lie. Yes.
You are worried about the bomb cyclone? Not the one that's in your bathroom.
No, I wanted to go fucking play in the studio, and now we're gonna scare the shit out of everybody with winter storms because hurricanes and tornadoes and the threat of them aren't enough.
Yes, now we got snowmageddon and bomb cyclones.
Yeah, that's so
Billy Graz, thank you very much. I appreciate your support, Billy. Thank you very much. So I don't care about the bomb cyclones, and it is what it is. I mean, I got stuck in the house for 48 hours. I wasn't stuck. I could have probably gotten out, but I was kind of enjoying the quiet time. I watched a lot of football. I did a lot of practicing for the Hard Rock and Sports Band's the upcoming tour, as we call it. And I got to do a lot of things. How about you, Jeff? You got stuck working a lot. You were stuck, right?
Yeah, I got stuck working. There was no doing anything for me. I went to work Saturday. Then I worked 16 hours Sunday and Monday. Then I ended up working all day Tuesday and then going back Tuesday night into Wednesday and shit. It sucked.
Yeah, no, listen. And the bad part of this of the bomb cyclone hitting this weekend, if it does also ruin Hard Rock and Sports Band practice, is there's no football. I mean, I don't count the Pro Bowl. So so now, like Matt's got some games taped from 100 years ago. He's probably got a whole DVR full of games. You know what I said, Jeff, that the NFL should do? And I think this is genius. For me, at least. I think this would be genius. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think the NFL should have some sort of a channel. It could be pay-per-view. Could be an in-demand where you could go back into like 1976 and find a week 13 game Saints and the Dolphins or Packers and the Vikings. And you can pay a fee, 99 cents, $1, $2, whatever it is. Or you pay for a subscription and you can go in there and watch whatever you want. And watch not highlights, the whole game with the real announcers. Like you can go back and listen to like Merlin Olsen and Dick Enberg, or catch Kurt Gowdy doing the game. And I would love to watch some of those old games. Some of them are more entertaining than the bullshit we get to watch now. What would you think of that kind of a service? Should the NFL get off their ass and think of that?
I'm sure they thought about it, but who knows what copyright and.
Well, they own the games. I'm talking.
Do they? I mean,
they own their library. I mean, the other day they put on. I think it was. Remember the game in the Meadowlands where the Jets came back against the Dolphins on a Monday night? They were down like 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That game was on TV, full game. So they own the right.
I don't know why they don't do it then. I mean, I thought maybe it had something to do. Maybe some of the players have to sign off on it or something. Who knows? There's got to be a reason they don't do it.
Yeah, because the only games they show are the recent ones. Every once in a while, you'll get a block of like early 2000s. So maybe I did have one not too long ago, a playoff game from the 80s. It was like a Chargers playoff game, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Dan Fouts throw the football, and see, football back then and the differences between how the game was played. Yeah, I would love that. To be honest with you, Dave had that on a couple times. The Jets Super Bowl III game. That's been on a couple times. I had a DVR for a while, but I don't know if I think my DVR got switched out and I lost it. So to me, that would be genius. And I don't know why they don't do it. I mean, if you got to pay the players, make it a pay-per-view or some sort of subscription.
They're making enough money off the players and the game itself that, yeah, you're right. You should be able to get, maybe if you subscribe to the NFL channel or something that you pay $20 extra a month or even a year or whatever it is out there that you get access to it. It's a good idea, but who knows? Maybe they don't think they're going to make enough money on it.
But to me, for a while they had this. They had a channel. It was like a sports throwback channel, and you used to put up like all the old, all the. Remember Sundays used to have the competitions. They'd have like the two teams, and they do track and field events and all that stuff.
On Channel 7, they used to do that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. What was the name of that? The Superstars or something?
Superstars. So they would do that. They would all do old baseball games, old football games, basketball games, and it was great. And then that channel disappeared. I think it got bought out by one of the channels, and it disappeared. And I was disappointed because they would Tony, to me, that stuff like that is huge, and it would reintroduce the game to the younger player. I mean, like a lot of the young kids, they don't know who Joe Namath is, but if they got to watch that game, if you got to see who, I would love to see full games of guys like Dick Butkus, and Gale Sayers and some of those legends, Jeff. And even I would love to go back and see a bunch of old Dan Marino games. I mean, it would just be fun to watch. And
listen, I'm sure you could probably come up with 100 different games that you'd want to watch. And
absolutely.
I have no idea why they wouldn't.
Yeah,
something like that because of other people that would be into it, but I don't know. I mean, you can't even come up with like a what if, like,
what's the downside?
I couldn't find a downside but there's got to be a reason that they're not doing it. Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know. Even if you had to split the proceeds with the players, or let's say ABC had the rights to the game or NBC had the rights to the game, even if you had to split that with them. To me, it's still money that all you're doing is taking a piece of tape you got in a vault, putting it online, and letting somebody watch it, and they're paying for it. So I mean, I don't know what the bad of that, but to me, there's a great piece of the NFL history that's disappeared. And yes, Frankie, Superstars was awesome, and I think again, I would love to see all of that stuff come back. Somebody should put the old Saturday Wild World of Sports back on. All those old.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, who didn't as a kid watch that Saturday afternoon? You come in about 3:00, and mom made you some soup or whatever it was, and you came in on a cold day, and you watched the Wide World of Sports, and there was so much great shit on it, and we could actually see Bruce Jenner with a penis. So I mean, it would be great. That's all I got.
He still has one.
I think he does. It's in a jar somewhere.
He definitely fucking has one.
But again, I think
it's kind of scary how you were happy to say that. Like
I was
with such glee.
I did say it with glee. I love Bruce Jenner.
And I don't understand. I don't understand that.
But I think with the age of nostalgia, and when you get our generation now, it's very nostalgic. You look back for things that you grew up with, and makes sense. A lot of stuff I watch on TV today, shows, biographies, all that stuff. A lot of it don't make any sense. I don't want to watch it. I would love to have the option on a Friday night or a Saturday morning when there's nothing on to be able to click on a button and watch an old game or watch an old show from that era. I just think I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
There's a lot of different channels I'd like to see happen. Not only sports channels, but like old time cartoons, old time comment. Well, they have Nickelodeon, but just with the way that cable's set up now, you should be able to access this, by just entering.
You can. A lot of the subscription channels, You can go back and find a lot of the old shows. You could. There was a couple of months ago. I was watching old Super Friends episodes. I found them on one of. Yeah, I mean, you could find stuff like that. The sports you can't find. And Tony, that would be great to have a channel like that. But yeah, Battle Network Stars, another good one. I used to. Those were the best.
Yeah.
When Robert Conrad and Gabe Kaplan nearly had a fist fight in a Superstars competition was one of the best things ever. It was one of the best things ever. So, yeah, I just think that there's too much emphasis on reality TV today and not on good programming. And I would just love to see some of that old stuff come back. But if you're looking for old TV shows, cartoons, all that stuff, you can find that stuff you can easily find today on one of the streaming services. And a lot of them are for free. Tubi, all those, they're all for free. You could definitely find that. MeTV has the Toon Channel. Yeah, they just play a lot of Bugs Bunny and Woody Woodpecker stuff. I'm not Popeye is not my stuff, but yeah, you can find. I was watching. I swear to God, I was watching. Maybe it was about a year ago. I think I was in Florida. I was watching Hong Kong Phooey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with Scatman Crothers. So I mean, that stuff you could find. But the sports is very hard to find. Like old boxing matches going back. Every once in a while, you'll see like the Thriller Manila will show up on TV. Like that stuff. I would love to watch those old fights again. And some of them pop up every once in a while.
Those actually, I'm not going to say that you see them all the time, but I know that I've seen those on before.
Every once in a while they pop up. I'm not disagreeing. No, you're right. I like the fact that WWE put their whole catalog out there. You can go out there. If you have a subscription, I think now it's moved from Peacock to Netflix. But you can find, again, I told you a couple weeks ago, I watched the very first Saturday Night Main Event. Just watched that. I watched all the first 6 WrestleManias I just watched over the last few months.
Yeah.
So there's plenty. There's those, I think, a great idea. It just reintroduces the sport, the entertainment to a different audience. If you got young kids, you're hanging out with your grandkids, you say, hey, you never saw Bruce the Barber Beefcake, and you're introducing that to that legend, and you just make a wrestling fan from it, or your football fan. So
I go along with the Spice Channel, Billy Raz, without a doubt.
Classic Sports Channel, that's the one. That's
no more putting on Channel 75 and holding on to the antenna to see a flash of nipple here and there.
Classic Sports. That's the one, Billy. You got it. Thank you. Classic Sports Channel. But we got a lot to talk about tonight beside my idea. And listen, somebody gets the chance, run with it. Call up the NFL Network. Call up the NFL and say, hey, put out a channel that we can watch the old games, man. That's it. So, but this weekend, hopefully you got a couple games DVR. I got a whole DVR full of Hunter and the A-Team and Rockford Files. I've been DVR for a few weeks. So my weekend, if I'm stuck in the house, is all set. My wife won't be happy, but I'll be kind of happy. So, but hopefully you guys are all prepared for the bomb cyclone. Like Jeff is not the bomb cyclone Jeff unleashes on his bathroom every morning. That's a different bomb cyclone. And hopefully you'll all stay nice and warm. And a few more weeks of this, and we'll be back to warm weather, hopefully. So with Jeff, let's get the show started the way we always do. And Jeff, how was your week?
Oh, I spent most of it working.
Are you back to your regular schedule this weekend? Are you off tomorrow and Saturday?
I'm off tomorrow and Saturday, and then they tell me that they want me to work overtime on Sunday, and I'm like, nah.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, you never know. At this point, if the weather turns bad, you may want to grab it.
I may want them to suck my cock too.
Oh, okay. That's
work the balls.
Wow. Okay.
Tickle the asshole a little bit.
All right.
I go in for fucking work. Fuck you. I'm not going in there.
Okay.
It just ain't fucking worth the money sometimes, Tom. And you know what?
I agree.
I hope that somebody's watching and hears this. When I wanted to do overtime, you wouldn't let me do overtime. But now you need me to go in there. Now you want me to do overtime. You got to lick the balls. If you want me to be there for overtime.
I guess Jeff won't be there this weekend. That's, I guess, fine. All good.
My boss is getting ready now. Maybe he's salivating. I doubt it, but you never know.
By the way, I just want to do some congratulations. First off, congratulations to our buddy Joe Gansis on his retirement from DOT, 33 plus years. Joe is going to be moving away. He made an announcement on Facebook, so I feel like I could say it.
So Joe Cloak, that could be anybody. It doesn't matter. I'm just not going to work there. Fuck you. I'm not doing it. Matter of fact, you could be first online if you like. I don't care.
Let's see. I'll get past that. Joe's moving to North Carolina in the coming months with his wife and in-laws. Yeah, it seems like first weekend of March. So congratulations to Joe and Rachel and her parents, and and Joe especially for his retirement after 33 years at the DOT. So congratulations, Joe.
3 people that retired this week.
Oh, really?
3 people.
It wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't me either. 3 people, and here I am. I got 39 years at my job, and I can't retire.
Dude, I got 41 years.
All had less time. Matter of fact, maybe combined they didn't have 39 years. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Listen, it ain't easy. Believe me, I'm struggling for these last few years, but we'll get through it. Maybe just for Thursday nights. Also, want to wish our good buddy Frank Jeffrey, who just rang the bell for 60 years old. Thank you, Frank. Welcome to 60, I guess, and God bless you. Keep on getting better, and hope to hear from you soon. But happy birthday, Frank Jeffrey. Thought I mentioned that while I had the chance. I may be forced retired. Oh yeah, Frank, I'm sorry to hear that. Your health issues or job issues. I hope you're okay. What's up there, Louis Peak? Another guy who's retired.
Even if Frank, I mean, I don't know if you
want to sorry to hear that, Frankie.
What do you do? Like, what do you do Frankie, for? You got like, is it a skilled job or just a regular job? You electrician or something like that? Maybe he's a professional that's it. He's a professional Broncos fan, and he got laid off Monday because they got no games.
Because they got no games.
So he's
going to get my dad on. Then I want to talk about both games from the weekend. We're not going to talk about the Super Bowl matchup. Okay, I do want to get Jeff's thoughts on Sam Darnold.
Push too long. We need to get right into this.
All right,
you know what I'm talking about.
Well, first things first, I want to get my pops on, and then we'll get into the Belichick, all of that. I want to talk about my friend, our good friend Matt. I had him and I got into it last night, and he had a great point, and I want to keep that point up. So I want to get that out. But let's get my pops on, and then we're going to get into a lot of football stuff. I got some music stuff and all that. So sit tight, sit back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm retired 3 years already. I've been semi-retarded for 65 years. Tony, here's the question I have for you, Tony. I want to retire today. I can't, but I want to retire today, but I can't. My only fear is if I retire, can I keep myself busy without having to go work for somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, am I rushing to retire to look up and go, I'm bored and I got to go to work? I got some hobbies like this, and that. But can you really keep yourself? Do you miss the? I don't know. Do you miss the action? Is my question. So I'll put that up. But let's get my pops on. Let's see what he's got to say, and then we'll get back to a lot of other things, including retirement talk. What's up, pops?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's going on?
I enjoyed your little conversation about the old football days.
Yep.
There's a lot of good game, and I think they should do it only because a lot of the young kids today, they heard of a lot of these players. Gale Sayers, Dick Butkus.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Somebody.
Yeah.
They can't, and the best game that I ever saw, football game, was the Ice Bowl.
Okay, which should be nice and not highlight to the game. Probably this weekend you can watch ESPN and they show highlights of all the Super Bowls. You'll get a couple of different games, but to me, there's nothing better than turning on and listening to the entire regular broadcast from those games.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh,
no, I wasn't going to say anything.
Go ahead, Dad. You're
I enjoyed. That had to be my favorite game, and like you said, the whole game. Because you can't imagine playing where the temperature is. I think was 15 degrees below zero.
Yes.
Not the wind chill factor.
Yeah, it's obviously the Ice Bowl for a reason. It's one of those games where guys were playing in short sleeves and they didn't have the cold weather gear. They didn't have all that stuff that they have today. You get to 35 degrees out and they got the heaters working. They got heated benches. They got the jackets with the heated vests underneath them. So I agree. I just think there's no downside to finding those old games. From guys like Billy Sims, who people ever Earl Campbell. You know how many people would you ever watch Jeff? You ever watch the YouTube videos and they show there's a couple different types. There's the ones where some guy never heard Iron Maiden and they play Iron Maiden from him and he gets oh my God, I can't believe that. Or you have a guy who's never watched so and so play football or baseball and then or basketball. There's a bunch of Larry Bird ones and they can't believe how great the guy was. They have a lot of those videos. I think if you played the games, the actual games these people played in, I think it would be eye-opening for a lot of people.
Maybe, but with the way that football is played nowadays, they may not relate to that game. They may not want to see that game. It's a different game, I mean, it's exciting in its own right, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But listen, there's definitely some that I would like to watch. Yeah.
It would be interesting to watch too, and I'm sure maybe you caught this somewhere. The old home run derbies.
Sure, that sports channel Billy had, Classic Sports. They played that whole series, and you watched Mickey Mantle versus Harmon Killebrew, and Mantle wound up winning it. But that was a classic show. I mean, and you got to watch all the sluggers of that era, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's the stuff I'm talking about that I would love to see replayed. Some of those old baseball games. The Yankees play a little bit. In fact, I was just last night. There was nothing on, and I had DVR'd the Bucky Dent home run game in Boston. I was watching that last night.
Wow.
And that's on every so often. That was on the NFL, the MLB channel, and then I also have on my DVR the Pine Tar game, from '83. So to me, that's stuff that at the very least our generations would go back and watch, and you might catch some new younger
Let me
kids.
ask you a question to get off that subject.
Huh?
What I'm seeing a lot of this people upset about Belichick.
Yep.
Now, are there written rules what you're supposed to use and what you can't use? Because obviously, because of his personality, a lot of people don't want to vote for him.
Correct.
That's what I'm assuming.
Which is fine, but that's not that. Correct. That's the problem. Is I don't know why somebody didn't vote. We're about to get into that, so it's fine. We'll take it from here. So there are no real criteria. You're a voter. You make your pitch, and then you decide. I think so and so is a Hall of Famer. I don't think so is a Hall of Famer. Again, Eli Manning got snubbed. I'll use him real fast. He got snubbed last year and this year. Some people feel he's a Hall of Famer, some don't. There is a question mark there, and you can make an argument if you wanted to that Eli is not a Hall of Famer, and I can make it that he is a Hall of Famer. But to me, when it comes to Bill Belichick, there is no argument. Whether you want to say, Jeff, he's the greatest coach of all time, which in my opinion, I think he is because of a bunch of things, and we'll get more into it. You can't deny the fact that the guy was a great coach. Regardless of whether you think he's the best or not of all time, he is a great coach. He has a resume that you go, he's in. Wouldn't you agree, Jeff?
Tom, I don't know. My mind is blown when it comes to this.
Okay.
And I don't understand how anybody could say that. And I will get more into it later without a doubt, but all I can say right now is this. Even if you took the two Super Bowl titles away from him when he was a Giant assistant coach, right? That's where it was with the Giants, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Take those away. He still has 6 titles. He still has more titles than any other head coach in the NFL right now at this point in time. Mm-hmm. His success with how many first place finishes in the AFC East over the years, what was it, like 20 times they finished in first place, or 20 out of 21 years or something? I mean, it's just, I don't understand it. Is somebody blackballing him? It has to be. That's what else could it be? You can't you can't come up with a good reason to not put him in the Hall of Fame.
I agree. Now, Matt, to your point, if you're agreeing or if somebody says, well, he cheated, does that mean that Tom Brady doesn't get elected in 2 years? Are we not going to elect Tom Brady in the Hall of Fame because of Deflategate? Let me know, because, there are a lot of people who, want to say, how about guy, I love LT. He cheated. He did drugs, got caught doing drugs, got suspended, and LT went in the Hall of Fame first ballot. Do I agree with it? Absolutely do. I do. I'll take that differently. And you can knock Belichick all you want for that. You can asterisk it all the time. But let's all remember something. Before Spygate happened, he won 3 Super Bowls. After Spygate, I think he won 2 more Super Bowls. So if you want to say, okay, take out the 1 Super Bowl, doesn't count, he doesn't get credit for 6, he gets credit for 5, or he only gets credit for the first 3 because he wasn't cheating, I'm sorry. There is no plausible reason any human being can tell me as a football fan why Bill Belichick didn't get in the Hall of Fame. It just doesn't. There is none. And anybody who didn't vote, and see, here's the problem, Jeff. The voters don't have to tell you who they voted for or didn't vote for. I think everybody should have to show their ballot and explain why they did or didn't vote for a person.
I don't have a problem with that so much, but in this situation, maybe you don't have to justify why you didn't vote for him, but I just can't understand why you would not vote for him. I don't understand it at all. The guy has done something that'll, even if a coach comes in young, let's say you get a coach in the league that comes in under the age of 40, and somehow he gets to 6 or 7 Super Bowls and wins most of them, and ties or eventually beats Belichick because he coaches into his 60s. That's a record that could fall one day. But all the things that he did with the Patriots, how many AFC championship games he went to, how many times he finished in first place, those are records that may stand for forever.
Yeah.
And just that alone is an achievement. I don't understand.
Matt and I were going over it last night, and here's why I think Belichick to me is different than all coaches. And this is not knocking Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi is fundamentally one of the best, if not the best coach. The damn trophy's named after him. I get it, and I would have no problem if somebody want to tell me he won 3 championships in a row. One was not a Super Bowl, or maybe he won 2 and then 2 Super Bowls. I'm not sure. Either way,
he won 5. There's a time there he won, I think, 5 in a row championships. That laps into the Super Bowl era.
Yeah. Right, and Matt, I agree with you. Bill Belichick rubbed the people the wrong way, and I get that. But Jeff, unless to me, somebody's personality should not play into. Now you can tell me a guy's on the bubble. I'm not sure. He was a real jerk to people. I can understand it. It kept Eddie Murray out of the Hall of Fame. It kept Jim Rice out of the Hall of Fame. I get it. They were great players. They deserved to be in there. But even they weren't shooing, no doubt, 100%. Bill Belichick, for anything that's gone on, take out the personality. Bill Belichick won. Think about, we were talking about, let's say, Chuck Noll, right? Chuck Noll's a great coach. Okay, Bill Walsh, great coach. They had maybe 9-year runs with the same exact team, right? No salary caps, free agency. They had the same players for 10 years, and they were successful. Great. Bill Belichick had different players every single year, managed a salary cap every single year, and not dominated for 10 years or 12 years or 15. He dominated, Jeff, for 20 years. It's unprecedented. Name me another coach, and I don't care what players you had, that could do that, and that's the problem.
Listen, you don't have to sell me on it. I'm a Jet fan, and I don't like the guy. And even I'm saying he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, what has he done to not make the Hall of Fame? Tell me what he's done or hasn't done. What does he have to have? 9 Super Bowls?
The problem is there's no criteria, and that's any sport. Look at baseball. I mean, we can sit here for a half hour and talk about guys that got in, but in Babe Ruth got 84%. Joe DiMaggio didn't get voted in his first time. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's the criteria of it?
Well, I mean, let's go back to Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter got, one guy decided not to vote for Derek Jeter. What was, that guy should have to step up to a microphone and say, I didn't vote for Derek Jeter. Why? Because if he said, I voted for him because I just didn't want to vote for him, he should lose his vote. To me, if you're voting for somebody or against somebody, you should have to submit a piece of paper or stand in front of a microphone and say, I think so-and-so's a Hall of Famer because this, and this, or he's not a Hall of Famer because this. So to me, if you didn't vote for Bill Belichick because of his personality, you should not ever, ever, ever be allowed to vote again. Never be allowed to vote again.
That there's a little harsh.
No, Jeff, because
Tom, that's a little harsh.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because you're polluting the system. You've just taken it and said one of the few people in the world that there is who's ever played or coached a game who has no reason to not be in it. You decided he's not in it for a personal reason. There's no reason in the world. He won more games. Guys, 4 games from winning the all-time amount of games, 4 years less than the guy who has the record. Don Shula coached 4 more years and has 4 more wins. He dominated. Yes,
more than that.
4 years, 4 games. Belichick has 333 wins. Shula has 337. It's 4 games. If he coached 1 more year, he'd have the all-time record. Yeah, that's that close. And Shula coached 4 more years than Belichick.
Don Shula has 328. Bill Belichick 302.
Got to add in the playoff games as well.
Not adding the playoff games.
I'm just saying they had the playoff games.
Well, don't add the playoff games. Regular.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys go because this is getting serious.
Jeff, so even if it's 20 games, add 4 more years of 10 wins. What are you getting? I'm just saying.
I agree with you. Like I said, you don't have to convince me. But
I'm going to let you go.
All right, Pops. Thanks for checking in.
Take care, buddy.
See you later, Mr. Florio. Be good.
That's my Pops. Yeah, I'm just go back to my comment about taking. See, Jeff, if you could stand there and say to me, "Hey, I didn't vote for this guy because this," okay, we talked about Andrew Jones. You and I were talking about it a little bit. And I said, well, he only batted .254. That's why I wouldn't vote him in the Hall of Fame. And you would say, hey, Tom, the guy's got 400 homers. To me, that puts him in the Hall of Fame. Those are reasonable conversations to have on why you do and don't vote for a guy. But if I could tell you, the guy's got 302 wins. He won 6 trophies as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator. By the way, Matt, just for the record, his game plan for the Super Bowl 25 victory over thing is bound and in the Hall of Fame. So to me, if you can't sit in front of me and tell me why you didn't vote for the guy, or you say, well, he's a jerk off and I didn't really care for his attitude, so I didn't vote for him, you should not be able to vote ever again. I'm sorry.
Matt,
you're trusted.
Andy Reid, 269 wins. Tom, I'm going to have to slap you off your fucking box right now, man.
Nope. Yeah, I'm right.
Slap you right off your box.
Why?
You got to calm down. You're turning all sorts of fucking colors.
You know what? But
your Patriot colors are showing through. Your boy didn't make it, and you can't take it.
Bill Belichick. But see, here's the thing. So it divide to me right now. The NFL Hall of Fame is a joke.
Well, listen, first of all, as far as proving or having to show why or validate your answer, I don't go for that. I'm sorry. What's up? Look at my wife just got home. Look at her hair. She got her hair dyed like a roots done. You can see.
Don't.
Look at that.
Sharon, you look wonderful, Sharon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Listen, it's subjective and it's everybody's opinion. You know what I would be worried about more? Some kind of what's the word that I'm like that everybody's not against them. What's the word I'm looking for? A scandal.
Okay.
Just an outright scandal. Why? I could see if this guy was borderline and they were like, well, he's not going to get in this year. He didn't have enough wins, or he didn't get enough this year. He only had 3 Super Bowl wins. There's no reason to say why he's not getting in.
Correct.
What's the reason to not put him in? That's the biggest thing. And how many votes did he fall short? of
We
not
won't.
getting.
We won't know. Well, it's got to be at least 11 because you need 75 or 80% of the vote. I forget what it is. So
So
you have to be 11 people at least. At least could be more who
okay,
had to say I didn't vote for him.
let's just use 11,
Yep.
right? Because this goes to 11. Which, by the way, this goes to 11. But
I got the same one.
I had mine first.
You did. I agree.
11 people said that he does not belong in the Hall of Fame minimum.
Right. Yep.
That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. I could see Barry Bonds not getting in, Roger Clemens not getting in the Hall of
You
Fame.
can point to a reason. I can agree with you.
But Frank, come on, man. Even with Inflategate, they still did a lot of things that nobody else is ever going to do in the NFL, man. Come on.
Again, Frankie, if you want to tell me I'm taking away the trophies they won during those seasons, I'm with you. He still got 4. If you want to tell me
why are they going to take that away now? They
no,
can't.
you're right. I'm not saying they should. I'm saying is even if I say nothing after Spygate matters, he still won 3 Super Bowls as a head coach and 2 as a defensive coordinator. He's by far one of the greatest defensive coordinators that the league's ever seen. I mean, so his resume is in football. Again, the guy may be the biggest idiot in the world. He may have overdone it. He may be ruining his legacy to a certain extent. Even now, I'm with you on it. But when you're voting for the Hall of Fame, was he one of the best, and does he deserve to be there? And if he doesn't, if you say, hey, I can only vote for 3, and there were 2 other guys more deserving, I'd understand it. But if you tell me you voted for Kenny Anderson or L.C. Greenwood or somebody of that ilk, not bad players, over Bill Belichick, there's a serious problem in the voting system.
What other coaches could you pick that you could vote before you vote Belichick? And that you said that you could, there's 3 coaches up, but you could only vote 2 in.
Yeah.
That just that statement alone is just, you can't even get that to justify.
That's the point. But again, to me, if you can stand in front of me and tell me why you voted that way and make it reasonable, then I got it. I'll feel better about it. But to me, this is just, you know what? Let's take him down a peg. And to me, that ruins the process. That tells me that the best people are not getting in the Hall of Fame. That's telling me that the process is polluted and it doesn't mean anything. So, to me, as a football fan, to me, this is a travesty. And you can see, I mean, guys like Jimmy Johnson are saying, I ain't going to the Hall of Fame this year. I'm a member of the Hall of Fame. I just got in, and you didn't put in Bill Belichick. There's a problem. And I think
unless maybe all the rumblings that he may come back after his year in North Carolina, but it's too late now for this year.
No, he's not coming back. Now, I thought there was a chance that this year he could pop back up. With all the different jobs that are available, I thought for sure there was a chance he could wind up back in football this year. But if he's not back this year, it's 3 years he'll be out. He was a year out for doing TV, and now it's second year in North Carolina. No, he's done in the NFL, and it's a shame.
He's 2 on top of it.
Huh?
Isn't he like 71 or 72?
73.
73? Yeah, he's probably too old.
Yeah, so to come back at this point, I mean, listen, Pete Carroll was 75, I think, still coaching. So
74.
I don't think, yeah. So to me, I think it's the age thing plus the fact that he's been out for 3 years.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Pete Carroll, he didn't have that long of a break in service.
No, he had 1 year, if anything. He had 1 year off. So, but and Frankie, I have no problem with Mike Shanahan. The guy won Super Bowls. The guy's he's an innovator. He I'd have no problem with Mike Shanahan getting in. And if you told me, well, Mike Shanahan's getting in before Bill Belichick, I'd say you're out of your freaking mind. But I it's not a problem for me. I think there are guys who deserve to be in there. Andy Reid's going to go in when he gets done. Andy Reid's had a really good career. If Andy Reid didn't win, if he just retired off the Eagles, I would say no. But with what he's done with the Chiefs, absolutely. But as good as Andy Reid is, he ain't Bill Belichick. That's the bottom line. So
no, definitely not.
So
that's hard. That's not even a valid point. I mean, the guy Reid has done what he's done, and he did it with 2 teams, and won 100 games with each team, more than 100 games with each team. But the whole thing with Bill Belichick is not right. Just totally not right.
Now, I do want to address Matt, and I want to ask you a question. Matt brought up a valid point. So our back and forth was coaches matter less, players, it's all about the players. And he said, and his thing was that the coach, and Matt, correct me if you said it, if I'm speaking it wrong, was if a coach is not an innovator, he shouldn't get in. So the first thing I'd say to you is are the players more important? Is the coach more important? Or to me, it's a 50-50 because you can have great players, but if you don't have a good coach to bring it together and a great game plan, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can have the greatest game plan in the world and have shitty players, and you're not going to be successful. So, but where do you place the more value in this?
Me personally, that's a hard question, but I would have to say that it's pretty close to me to a 50-50 balance.
I would agree.
And to turn around and to even, in my eyes, to say that Bill Belichick wasn't innovative, I think is somewhat incorrect. He proved he was successful. He didn't have to be an innovator. He was successful with what he did just by his coaching record. You know, how many division championships did they win? How many times to the AFC championship? 6 Super Bowl wins. Plus, he was in the Super Bowl, a total of 9 times as a coach.
Yeah.
Never mind defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was in there how many times and lost the Super Bowl? 2 or 3 times.
He lost 3 Super Bowls.
So, you know, 6 and 3.
Yeah.
That's 9 times, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You know?
Yeah.
I
agree, Louis P. They should take away the votes. I agree.
I still don't think that justifies him not going in.
No, I agree with you 100%. So to me, you can't justify it. So again, when you're voting for the Hall of Fame, right? In any sport, right? And baseball's the only one that possibly still really, really matters. But let's say football matters. And you're putting in, to me, when you're tasked with picking the players from generations that future generations are going to be able to go to a building and view and see forever, or as long as that building stands, you're picking the cream of the crop, the best of the best, and it's based on stats, maybe what you saw. It should never be about a personal or personality. And that's the problem I have when you entrust somebody with that kind of power. 50 people vote the people into the Hall of Fame. And when you take that and go, well, Bill Belichick deserves going, but you know what? I'm going to teach him a lesson. He ain't going to go in this year.
Well, isn't this the second year that he didn't get in?
This is Belichick's first year. He was the first ballot Hall of Fame this year.
Well, you know, like once again, like I said, there is no justification for not putting him in. I don't see the justification for not putting him in. That you can't, like the attitude problem that was brought up earlier. Okay, so the guy is dry. The guy has an attitude. He wasn't coached. He wasn't paid to entertain. He was paid to coach a football team.
Right.
He did it better than anybody else. He got results. He set God knows how many different records. That's all there is to it. It's not going to change, you know?
Yeah, but the part that bothers me is that the people who voted it decided they're going to hide behind anonymity, and I think it's wrong. They should have to post their votes, and they should be subject to, hey, why didn't you vote for Belichick? And have to answer it. And if your answer is, well, I just didn't like the guy, you shouldn't have a vote. Personality should not play into this ever, even whether you love a guy or you hate a guy. You know, I hated Bill Walsh. I think he was the most arrogant ass there was. The guy was a great coach, won games, was one of the big, most innovative coaches, coaching tree, the whole bit. I could care less about the guy, but if I had a vote, he would get my vote every single time. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's what bothers me about the whole thing. But that's not what happened here. This was not Eli Manning. And I'll be the first guy to say I think Eli is. But if you say to me Eli's not, I can understand where you're coming from. I can look at aspects of Eli's career and say,
listen, comparing Eli Manning to Bill Belichick is 2 different animals.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about there's a
I know.
There's a gray area where the Eli can go.
I'm saying
there is no gray area here.
It's not even a comparison to even make, because what Eli did, Okay, he won 2 Super Bowls. His record wasn't the greatest, but he still won 2 Super Bowls. Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls,
Right.
which was in a total of 11 Super Bowls. Think of it that way too.
Sure, absolutely.
He won 8. He was on the side 8 times. He was in a total of 11 Super Bowls.
Mhm.
Nobody is ever going to 11 Super Bowls. That fact alone should have gotten him into the Hall of Fame. The amount of times he was in the AFC Championship game should have been enough. The amount of times that he won the AFC East and playoff victories should have been enough. There's nothing that could be ever said to justify not voting him in, unless all of these guys are hardcore guys and they're like, nobody gets in first ballot.
Well, here's
And he did.
I'm reading everything on here from a guy who is a sports columnist in Kansas City, who is a Pro Football Hall of Fame voter, and he said, "I didn't vote for Bill Belichick, and here's why." Now I just lost that fucking page. Hold on a second. Okay, he said the so-called cheating stuff didn't ultimately influence my vote. I felt duty-bound to vote for richly deserving seniors who most likely won't ever get a hearing again. And he said his vote instead of Belichick was for Kenny Anderson, Roger Craig, and L.C. Greenwood. Now, all of them are good players. I don't know if any of those guys are actual Hall of Famers. I mean, Roger Craig was
maybe Roger Craig.
Maybe. And that's a stretch. L.C. Greenwood was a really good player. Really good. Kenny Anderson was a damn good quarterback. I'm not sure he was a Hall of Famer. So I'm sorry. So his answer basically was, well, I didn't vote for Belichick this time because I wanted to vote for these guys instead. To me, that's not what it's about. It's the best people.
Yeah, so why did it take them so long to get in?
Correct. They're at the end of their rope.
And L.C. Greenwood, while he was on a lot of those championship teams, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, he might have been like the second tier of defensive players on the Steelers, no?
Yeah, I mean, he was, his L.C. Green was probably claim to fame for me is he wore the yellow shoes.
Yep.
That was his claim to fame. He was a good player. I don't think he was a bad player. He was on a great team. He had to play next to Mean Joe Green, so it's a tough spot there. You're not going to get a lot of publicity that way. But if you ask me what do I remember about L.C. Green, was a guy who grew up watching those games. Oh yeah, he wore the yellow cleats.
Yeah.
Gold cleats. And Frankie, you're right. If I was Belichick, I would tell you go scratch, or I would show up that day and I would blast every single one. I would find out who didn't vote for me, and I would make fun of them and blast the piss out of them. But you know what? The guy deserves his day. He deserves to be celebrated, whether you like him or not, for what he accomplished in this league that Jeff will probably never, ever, ever, ever get matched again. I can't imagine in this era anybody having a 20. Look at Andy Reid. We just talked about Andy Reid. How great was Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes for the last 5 years? 5 years. Imagine trying to do that for the next 20. I mean, it's near impossible.
Like I said, you don't have to tell me. I agree. I totally agree. I don't understand how anybody could turn around and say, I'm not voting for this man to get into the Hall of Fame. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, and we won't belabor it. We've been talking about it forever. I want to get to the games. I want to talk about Sam Darnold a little bit. We'll hold off our analysis of the game for next week. I don't like the uniforms already. I've heard the uniforms. We'll talk about that next week. The Patriots are wearing all white, and the Seahawks are wearing all navy blue. I despise
uniforms for the
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Terrible. It's almost as bad as the halftime and pregame bands. But we're going to hold the Super Bowl talk till next week. So if I do want to talk about this weekend's games. But Jeff, let me ask you. Let me say something as a non-Jet fan, or as Craig, not Craig Cotton, Tiki. I'm trying to Tiki Barber's partner. I'm an independent football observer. Okay, it's not my term. Somebody else says that. I don't belittle, blame, or cast any aspersions on the Jets for releasing Sam Darnold and giving up on him for what he's become. Because at that moment, those 3 years or whatever it was in the Jet uniform, he was a total mess. He was. Now, I could blame the Jets for not giving him the proper coaches, but to me, for the Jets to have waited around 6 or 7 years for it to materialize, I can't blame the Jets for giving up on Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold may be that next Jared Goff type quarterback now, where he's never going to be elite, but he's going to be a solid quarterback like Jared Goff. That's where I think his trajectory is. But I don't look back and go, fucking Jets, they let go of the guy. This is what he become. When he was seeing ghosts and all of that stuff, Sam Darnold was in over his head, and it was that way also in Carolina. So how do you feel as a Jet fan now that you have to watch a Super Bowl where Sam Darnold has a real good chance to not only win, but be the MVP?
Well, I think that there's a couple different things to factor in here, okay? Yeah, the Jets suck that they haven't developed a quarterback before or since.
Right.
Not for nothing, the Carolina Panthers have not developed a quarterback before or since. He also went to the San Francisco 49ers, who also let him walk away after a certain time.
Well, they had Purdy, but you're right, yes.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? There was no quarterback controversy. Would that be the same if he was playing that way right now? The way he's playing now, if he played back then, would there maybe have been a quarterback controversy at the best? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that might have been. I just personally think that, with the Jets, they just don't develop quarterbacks. I hope he loses because I would hate to see him walk away with a championship. I really would, because if he was just a little bit better, maybe the Jets could have built around him. But yeah, you're right. At the time, he just had nothing. Nothing was going right, and he looked like he was regressing, not progressing. And listen, he went through one team. He went more than one team. He went through more than one set of coaches, more than one set of offensive coordinators and everything. And the guy just never caught on. And it's only the last 2 years. And even then, I found something that I got to read to you. Let me just find it. I don't think I didn't send it to you. Did Sam Darnold show major improvements this season, or was he again carried by a strong defense? The answer is both. Darnold showed major improvements in the first half of the regular season, then regressed as the Seahawks defense got even better. Remarkably, he finished the 2025 regular season with a lower QBR, 56%, than he had again in Minnesota, 57.3. Although he had a higher completion rate and was sacked fewer times, he also had more interceptions and fewer touchdowns. A look at how Darnold's stats are split in the season. Weeks 1 through 9, Darnold had a 77.9% QBR. At that point, he was the second in the NFL behind Baltimore's Lamar Jackson, who had a shitty season, by the way, also.
Yep.
For weeks 10 through 18, Darnold had a 37.4% QBR, which ranked 26th. Every part of Darnold's performance declined in the second half. In weeks 1 through 9, his completion percentage was 70.4, 9.6 yards attempt, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 9 sacks. In weeks 10 through 18, he was 65.5% completion, 7.5 yards attempt, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 18 sacks. So I'm not saying that the guy took a major step backwards, but he also didn't take a step forward. Now, what happens when he plays the Super Bowl? Will he go through another, NFC championship game like he did last year with Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
Will he go down the tubes again? You know what I mean?
Oh, listen, I'm with you. I'm not the biggest Sam Darnold fan, but it's not 1 year now. This is like the third year in a row that he's stepped up his game a little better. Now, regardless, and again, I think they're built on their defense, a lot in their running game, but he has not been a disaster.
He hasn't, but let me ask you something.
He's had some big games.
Put him on Pittsburgh. Does Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl?
No, because I don't think Pittsburgh's as good a team as this, but I think they're No, I also think they're a better team with him at quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the guy's an elite. I think he's probably the poor man's Jared Goff at this point, but I think he's headed to that. I think he's headed that way. But bottom line is he's got his team to the Super Bowl. He's in line right now to win a game. I'm going to be rooting for the Patriots, but I tell you, if I'm betting the game, I got to bet Seattle. I think he's
so let me ask you this. You think that Eli, and hear me out before you say anything, you think that Eli is a Hall of Fame quarterback, correct?
I do.
Okay. Let's just say that Sam Darnold wins 2 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. Let's say he wins this year, and let's say he goes another 2 years, wins another one. He stays with Seattle, finally finds a home, and he wins 2 Super Bowls in the next 4 years. Are you going to tell me that he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback?
But no, see, it's not just the whole. I think with Eli, I think the regular season career is good. It might not be great, but it's good, maybe really good. He had some really good seasons in there. Even the year that Plaxico shot himself in the leg, that team was on its way to a Super Bowl. I mean, they were the best team in football at 11-2, 11-3 when Plaxico shot himself in the leg, and they fell apart after that. The team just fell apart.
But that's not really what I'm asking. I'm asking you, is Sam Darnold wins 2 Super Bowl championships, is he a Hall of Fame quarterback?
No, again, so the answer is just because he won 2 Super Bowls doesn't get him a Hall of Fame. Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. What I'm saying is if your regular season career is really good, maybe very good, almost great, and Eli's is really good, maybe almost great, when you add in what he did in the postseason, he's a Hall of Famer. When I look at Sam Darnold's career, when I look at Sam Darnold's whole career, he's not been good. His regular season career, other than the last couple of years, has not been good. So I can't go, all right, he won 2 Super Bowls, he's a Hall of Famer. It's not the Super Bowls. It's the.
No, I understand that, but it's also a big part of it. And if he continues to go the way that he's going, he wins 2 Super Bowls. There will be somebody that says he's won 2 Super Bowls, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Now, I understand right now there's a lot of people that are sour on the Hall of Fame, and this is all, he don't have any Super Bowl wins yet. He's still trying to get his first one. But I just, wanted to see what you say comparing to somebody that I know that you would push into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, again, it's the whole package. So if Sam Darnold goes the next 7 or 8 years, wins 2 Super Bowls, and for the next 7 years has a career compatible to what Jared Goff has done. Now, Jared Goff right now, is he a Hall of Famer? Probably not. But if Jared Goff wins a Super Bowl or 2 along the way, I would maybe start thinking a little differently. But if you're really good during the regular season, and then you got a couple Super Bowl wins and an MVP or 2, it changes things a little bit for you. If you're just banking on the Super Bowls, again, I'll point to, there's a couple of guys, but one of them is Jim Plunkett, and Jim Plunkett's regular season career is borderline bad, but he won 2 Super Bowls. That doesn't change it enough. And that'll be the same thing for Sam. His first 6 or 7 years were bad. It wasn't good. So now 2 Super Bowls isn't going to change that for me. But if he has a end of career that's really good, that could change things. I don't know. But for me, 2 Super Bowls, not doing it.
Trying to get his stats up.
Who? Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And listen, he's got 123 touchdowns, 82 interceptions. He's thrown for 20,000 yards. He's only completed 62.3% of his passes. His rating is 86.5. Not the best, but not far from the worst. I just don't think that he of course, this is all premature talk. But I think a lot of people are quick to say, "Oh, Sam Darnold," when all he's really done is had 2 good years.
Correct.
There's been plenty of quarterbacks that have had 2 great years and faded into obscurity and never been heard from again.
100%. So even if he's a Hall of Fame, even if he's Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback this year, it doesn't change my opinion on Sam Darnold. He's nothing more than Jared Goff light at this point, and his career, if it ends tomorrow, is just been, hey, it ended okay. That's, to me, how I would see Sam Darnold at this point. But he's, at this moment, nowhere near anything near in a Hall of Fame conversation. So, and Joe Cloak, you're right. To me, he'll probably be the biggest reason they win or lose this game. I really believe that. I think Vrabel will keep Drake May in check. They'll run the ball and they'll play good defense. But I think Sam Darnold's going to have to throw the ball a little bit in this game. And if Jeff sees ghosts and throws a couple bad picks and puts that team in a bad spot, and it kind of ties into what happened to the Broncos. I mean, it's not Jarrett Stidham's fault. It's not Sean Payton's fault. But Jarrett Stidham lost that game for them because of a couple of bad plays. And that's how that game's going to be remedied. And that's probably what's going to happen with Sam Darnold.
That's pretty much what Matt is just saying right now. And I understand what you're saying, Matt. You're right. As the quarterback, you should be able to show that it's time to move this team. It's time to do what you got to do to get this team to win. So I agree with you 100%. It's moments like that a John Elway are known for and Peyton Manning are known for. And that absolutely separates good quarterbacks from great quarterbacks, without a doubt, man. Totally understand that. That makes a lot of sense. But to me, you also have to have a complete package of what you're doing. You know, having great stats, okay, what did you do with them? Your team didn't go to the Super Bowl. You know, Drew Brees is a good example of that to me. He only went to the Super Bowl once. He only has one title.
Dan Marino
Dan Marino don't have any titles.
Right. So to me,
if you look at what Peyton Manning has, what, three?
Yes.
2 or 3?
Peyton Manning has 3 wins. Yeah, 3 wins. Yeah.
Well, he's a little bit different, you know, but I don't know. I understand what he's saying. I agree.
No, Matt, I totally agree with Matt on that. There's no doubt. So to me, you know, having Super Bowl wins or not having Super Bowl wins does not make you or not make you a Hall of Famer. It's the totality of your career. And when you add in what you do during the regular season, what big games did you win? I mean, just again, I'll use Eli because it's easy for me. It's off the top of my head. You know, you go on the road, you won 2 Super Bowls, basically winning. I think the second one, they had 1 home game, but they won most of those games on the road, big games in Green Bay, in Dallas. You know, you went to hostile places. You beat, you know, Brett Favre. You beat Aaron Rodgers, 2 Hall of Famers on their own field. You know, you beat Tom Brady twice. That is a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole piece. If that's the only thing Eli ever did, I would say great end of his career, really good career, maybe not a Hall of Fame. But if I take everything, and that's what will happen with guys like Jared Goff and Sam Darnold, you add up everything, and then you look, Dan Marino, no Super Bowl wins. Is Dan Marino a Hall of Famer? Yeah, there's no doubt Dan Marino's a Hall of Famer. The guy's the best. It's a little
bit of a different situation. Dan Marino, even though we always say that he was never a Super Bowl winner, he also went to the playoffs a lot.
Again, yeah, absolutely.
You know, but he also threw the ball around all over the place and amassed an amazing amount of yards and was doing things, throwing you for yardage before other people were.
And that's why guys like Dan Fouts are in the Hall of Fame and Dan Marino, there are different criteria for people's career that you can use. And sometimes it's eye test. I watched Dan Fouts and Dan Marino play. They were easily 2 of the best guys I've ever seen throw football. So, again, I don't want to belabor. I want to get to Matt, and that is something I want to talk about with Jeff, because we've been picking on coaches and stupid decisions. And Jeff, you know, we talked about this with Dan Campbell a few years ago when they had the chance to kick a couple field goals instead of going for them 4th down, and it changed the game against the 49ers, and they wound up losing. And from that point, that team has regressed. Would you agree that the Lions every year have kind of taken a step backwards to where they are right now?
Listen, what they've been doing the last couple of years have proven that.
So I know you didn't see the game. You were at work and you were kind of following it, but so it's very early in the it's probably first quarter, Sunday's game. And to me, the Broncos had all the momentum. Stidham made a beautiful pass. This may have been early second quarter because I think they switched.
It was definitely the first half.
Yeah, it was definitely first half. So it's close game. I think it's 7-0. Stidham is playing well. He made a really beautiful pass on that touchdown drive. It's like a 55-yard pass. And so now they got the opportunity. It's 4th. Let me go back a little bit. 3rd and 7. He runs for 5 or 6 yards. Let's say 6. So it's now 4th and 1. They're up 7-0. And it's it's in the second quarter. So they have the ability to go up 2 scores in a game where weather is starting to be a factor. It wasn't snowing yet, but it was getting very windy out. So Sean Payton decides to go for it. Doesn't get it. So now they turn around and they wound up taking the ball and going down the field and they score. So they took a 10, what should have been a 10-0 game, and now it's 7-3. I think it's 7-3. Now Stidham makes a bad play, backwards pass. He should have took the sack, throw the ball away. Tries to make a play. The Patriots fall on it. They actually should have scored. They blew the whistle. They score a touchdown, and the game basically ends 10-3 because nobody can kick a field goal because the weather conditions got terrible. My point of it is, it's the second quarter of a game, and you have an opportunity to take points in a playoff game, and they treat it like it's the first quarter of a Week 5 game in Carolina. And this is a veteran coach who made a very poor decision, and I think in the second quarter of the game cost his team a playoff game. Would you agree, disagree?
It's hard to disagree. I mean, when you're in the Super Bowl, when you're in the playoffs and you get any chance to get points, you got to take it without a doubt. You know, here's the only way that I would have said that, okay, I could have agreed with that, okay? It's near halftime or right after halftime, and you're up 10-0, okay? Yeah. And you want to try to, stretch it, if that get a touchdown, and then you'll be up 17-0, at least 16-0, right?
Yep.
Now you're making it a 3-score game if you convert. But at that point in time, you got to take the points. You have to take the points. If you were winning by 14, 17 points, 14 points, and it was a little bit later in the game, and the other team wasn't playing that well, and you definitely want to bury them, and you say they're going to take time off the clock and try to get another score, that's one thing. But I would have went for the touchdown. I mean, not the touchdown. I'm sorry, the field goal there too.
Yeah,
take the short points, because all you need to do is win by 1. There's nothing after that.
Yeah, to me, points are points. Second of all, it's also a momentum thing. Now you just gave them the ability to stop you. So now the momentum changes. Now they go down and they put points on the board. So now it's a 6-point swing the other way. Now, again, there's no way to forecast that the game was going to get such bad. It was so bad, the conditions in the second half, and I love the game, and I'll tell you about that too. But that there was no way to tell that in the second half you weren't even going to be able to see the field. Like, Jeff, the announcers had no idea where the ball was exactly on the field. Like, they couldn't tell if it was on the 30-yard line or the 40-yard line. Like, it was that the snow was that bad, the conditions were that bad, and it was fun. And they couldn't kick a field goal for the life of them, whether it was with the wind or against it. And you had no idea at that point. But in the playoffs,
I saw what do you call it, of the field, man? That wow.
And to me, when you're in that situation, again, if you're down and it's late in the game, I understand. If you're down and it's late in the second and late in the half, I almost understand it. But to me, any points you could put on the board in a game where the wind was starting to whip, and they had to know snow was coming. The NFL does a great job of getting ahead of the forecast. They have all the resources in the world, and they had to know that a storm was coming in, and the second half was going to be played in the snow. So if you're Sean Payton, you're a veteran coach, take the points. I didn't understand the theory. Now, nobody asked him that I saw, maybe after the game they did, why, coach? Why wouldn't you take the points? Play the game. Now, the second half was played like an old football game. They played field position. They punted. They ran the football. It was a real football game. And Jeff, I was talking to a couple of people. They were like, "Oh, it was a boring game." No, it was strategy. It was old time football. This wasn't throw the ball all over the field and score 40 points. This was, I'm not going to make a mistake. I'm gonna run here. I'm gonna punt there. I'm gonna play defense. And there was no point scored. And it was a great second half. And that, to me, is the mindset of today. Is if you don't score 20 points and a half, it's a shitty game, Jeff.
Well, listen, that's the mindset. That's the way it is. A lot of people feel that way. They don't want to watch a defensive struggle. First of all, the weather made it a football game.
Right.
The videos that I've seen of it were like, I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
The weather was horrible, and the weather wasn't much better for New England either.
No, they both played the same thing.
I'm thinking of the game before. No, that was the Chicago New England game the week before.
Yes.
Thinking, it looked like there was fog, snow, all kinds of things going on at the same time. That was rough conditions. No wonder they couldn't figure it out. Like I said, I was at work. I didn't get to see much of it at all.
Yeah.
Little video clips here and there while I was on ESPN. But, listen, you got to be smart. You have to be smart. He wasn't smart.
No, it wasn't. I want to read this, Louis. Thank you. So the NFL Hall of Fame has put out a news release, Jeff. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, sure.
Statement on media reports related to the Hall of Fame class of 2026. It says here, Canton, Ohio, the Pro Football Hall of Fame understands and respects the passionate reaction of many fans, media members, and enshrinees of the Hall of Fame itself in light of the published reports regarding the voting results of the class of 2026. It's that very passion that propels the game. The Hall also respects the members of the selection committee when they follow the selection process bylaws. It is an honor to serve as a selector. Each year, the Hall reviews the selection process and the composition of the 50-person selection committee. If it is determined that any member violated the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken. That could include the possibility that such selectors would not remain a member of the committee moving forward. The selection of a new class is the most important duty the Hall of Fame oversees each year, and the integrity of that process cannot be in question. So that tells me that now I guarantee you nothing's going to happen. That is to me. But at the very least, they're acknowledging the fact that there may be this might have been a bad thing. Now, one of the guys who didn't vote for Belichick told you why. Can you argue with what he did? No, I can't argue. If he voted for those guys because this might have been their last chance, it's a valid reason. I don't agree with it. I think it's terrible, but that it's at least a valid reason. You better have.
Let me ask you this: how many years were those guys on the Hall of Fame ballot?
Well, Kenny
Anderson, L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig. How many years?
I would say, Kenny Anderson and Greenwood over 40 years because they both retired in the 80s.
So over 40 years they were on the Hall of Fame ballot?
Yes, 40 years. They've been eligible for the Hall of Fame for 40 years.
Okay.
And Roger Craig's got to be 30.
In 40 years and however long it was, they did not get in.
Correct.
They did not get in. And now I understand that maybe you didn't know, or there was a better choice each year. But if that was the case, why didn't these guys get the other votes? If there's 50 people that voted, but there was only, say they fell by 12 votes.
Right.
Every year was an average of 12 votes. It's getting close. They got 5 years left. Next year is going to be a lean year. Let's put them in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. That to me is not a valid reason.
I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Because in 40 years, if they were that good, they would have been in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Is L.C. Greenwood even alive?
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure. But so again, at the end of the day, I'm just glad that the Hall of Fame is acknowledging that there's a little bit of shenanigans here. Now back to Frankie, you're right. So my problem with Sean Payton is the play call was horrendous. But
by the way, just so you know, it looks like he is gone. He died in 2013. Okay.
Joe, is there someone on the Hall of Fame you think shouldn't be there? Are you talking about this year's ballot, Joe, all time? I guarantee you there's guys that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I'll give you one. I'll give you a perfect example. Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis is not a Hall of Famer. Go look at Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis, if you take out the 1 year, he had a great year. One great year. I think he had a 7-year career. He had one great year, 2,000 yards. After that, he did not average 800 yards a season. Terrell Davis, now, did his 2 Super Bowls get him in? Maybe. But I don't think his regular season's good enough to just say he won 2 Super Bowls, so he deserves. And he's a running back. So are we giving the same credence to running backs winning Super Bowls as the quarterbacks? I don't know. To me, Terrell Davis is not a Hall of Famer. Put it this way, Tiki Barber was a better running back than Terrell Davis. Put it on paper. I said it. Go check Tiki Barber's stats. His last 5 years, he probably averaged 1,400 yards a season. His last 5 years, he rushed for over 12,000, almost 12,000 yards, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not crying about it.
I got to say something about what Frank just said. Frank, all right, maybe not true in your eyes, but I mean, do you think that L.C. Greenwood, Kenny Anderson, and Roger Craig should get into the Hall of Fame before Bill Belichick? That's one thing. Second of all, think of 40 years. How old are you and how old were you 40 years ago? I was going on 20 years old 40 years ago. 40 years is a very long time to get somebody into the Hall of Fame, and not one of those three players has enough to bump Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame and keep him out of the Hall of Fame. Maybe they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, maybe it took them 39 years, but it's awfully strange that's a pretty, it's not a solid reason for me. I'm sorry. I don't go with that, man. That just makes no sense to me. None at all whatsoever.
Terrell Davis had 7,600 yards in a 7-year career. Good career. Not great. He had one great year, one really good year, 1,700 yards, 1,500, 1,100. His last 3 years were 200, 282, and 700. Not a Hall of Fame. Sorry.
I understand.
And yes,
how long was Randy Gradishaw did it take him to get into the Hall of Fame?
A long time. And Randy Gradishaw was a great linebacker. I have no.
Yeah, 40 years.
Oh, it took him close to 40 years to get it. Sure.
But and then in your 40th year, think about this. I don't give a fuck how long it took Randy Gradishaw to get into the Hall of Fame. Okay, 40 years, and you're keeping out Bill Belichick. Come on. And if he was that good, Randy Gradishaw, he shouldn't have gone 40 years to get into the Hall of Fame if he was that good. I don't remember his stats and what he did, but 40 years is a very long time. And 40 years to keep out Bill Belichick, that's not a good enough excuse for
Frank,
me.
you said Terrell Davis had the 4 best years of any running back. Let me give you Tiki Barber's last 5 years. Last 5, not his first 4, not his first 5. His last 5 was 1,387, 1,216 yards, 1,500 yards, 1,800 yards, and 1,600 yards. He rushed for 10,500. Don't tell me Terrell Davis had the best 4 years of anybody. He did not. It ain't even close. Tiki's last 5 were better than his first 4. So please don't give me Terrell Davis as a Hall of Famer. He's a good back, a really good back, not a Hall of Famer. And that's fine. He got in. I'm not going to sit here and go. But if Joe Cloaks asked me a guy I can think off the top of my head that didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, it's him. Terrell Davis is not a Hall of Fame.
I need to answer Joe Cloak's question.
Go ahead, you got one?
Who I think shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, that is in the Hall of Fame? Joe Namath.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Namath should not be in the NFL Hall of Fame. He helped usher in the AFL and make them to show that they weren't going to be pansies. Well, I mean, look at the Jets now. They're just a doormat. But, I mean, at least he came in and he's, we're here and we belong. So he helped usher in teams into the NFL. But, I mean, other than that, his and the 4,000 yards that he never came close to again, is just, I don't know. He don't belong in there, man.
Frank, 4 years. He was a really good back. Do I think he was the best running back in football those 4 years? I'm not sure about that. You're telling me he was better than Barry Sanders? You're telling me that he was better than Barry at that? No, come on, Frank, please. He was a good player.
What was his receiving yardage?
I got to bring it back up. Hold on. I'll give it to you.
Maybe he had a lot of receiving yardage or something. Because right now, watching this, I just want to wish I had some popcorn and a drink watching you two guys go back and forth with this one.
Okay, so he's receiving. Okay, he had receiving yards, 1,200 yards total for his career. 367, 310, 287, 217, 26, 4 and 69. 169 catches for 1,200 yards. He averaged 7 yards catch.
Did the Broncos win a Super Bowl in 96 to 9? That's only 3 years anyway, 96 to 98. That's not even 4 years.
By the way, so he was part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams, no doubt. But if I take his 2,000-yard season out of there, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 5,000 yards. Take out the 2,000-yard season. Just take it out for the rest of his career.
I don't know what year he
was
in, but I know that he don't belong there.
Namath went in early. He retired. Namath retired in 75 or 76 with the Rams.
Yeah.
So went in 80, 81. He was definitely I would almost guarantee he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. And Jeff's right. Namath went in on name alone. I mean, that's bottom line. He's just Joe Namath. They put him in. His stats were horrendous. He had more interceptions than touchdowns. Forget it.
Frank, he had a lot more interceptions than touchdowns, I believe. Joe Namath.
Frank, what I'm saying is he had one great season. That's terrific. I'm not discounting it, but the rest of his career was average. He didn't even average 1,000 yards the rest of his career. So I'm saying is, to me, it's one great year and a very average, or a little bit above average rest of his career. He's not a Hall of Famer. That's my opinion. You could go to bed at night and be happy that he's in there. That's fine. Somebody asked me to pay my opinion. I gave it.
I got something for Joe. Joe Cloak. Joe Namath, 27,663 passing yards, 173 touchdowns, 220 interceptions. His completion percentage was only 50.1%. His quarterback rating was 65.5. I don't believe that those are Hall of Fame numbers. And I love Joe Namath, for a lot of reasons. I just don't think that he's a Hall of Famer, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So again, not to get back to the Hall of Fame, but thank you, Louis, for passing that on. And I hope that nothing's going to come of it. Nobody's going to get removed now. Bill Polian might retire from being on the selection committee if he's the guy who went around and said, "Don't vote for Bill Belichick." That might happen. I absolutely have to point out is that he suffered from severe migraines the last 3 years of his career. And Matt, that's fine. That doesn't excuse your career. I'm not telling you. That doesn't mean, oh, well, he should be Hall of Fame because he had migraines. That just says you didn't complete your career. Whether you hurt yourself, whatever, that's not an excuse to say, well, he's a Hall of Famer. You didn't play. So part of being a Hall of Famer is what? Being available. If you're not available, that took away from your career. It's like Billy Sims was one of the greatest running backs I ever saw, blew out his knee, didn't finish his career. What happened? He's not a Hall of Famer. I can't go, well, he should have been Hall of Famer, but he blew out his knee. No, he blew out his knee. That's it. Injuries. It's all part of it. So I agree with you. Good player, just not a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. That's all. Ain't gonna take it. They ain't gonna take the jacket back because I said he's not a Hall of Famer. Don't worry about it. Again, Frank, he averaged nothing for his career as a back. Okay, if you take out those 3 years, it just doesn't compute. It just doesn't compute. He had 3 good years, 1 great year and 2 other good years. No problem. That don't make a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. It just don't. His last 3 years, he didn't even show up. It's not a Hall of Fame career. He didn't play 7 years and have, get 9,000 yards, 10,000 yards. He didn't average 1,500 yards for his career. He played 7 years and he had 7,000. He averaged 1,000 yards for his career. 1,000 yards.
Where was he on the all-time list? Do you know?
He's way low. Jeff, he only had 7,600 yards for his career. We're going to be top. What are you going to be, 20, 25? I can't imagine.
Oh, he's fucking further down than that.
I'm just saying.
I'm just telling you, he's way further down than that.
Are you talking about LaDainian Tomlinson? I didn't look at Tomlinson's numbers. I'm just giving you.
LaDainian Tomlinson was number 7, 13,684 yards.
Okay, so, I mean, the guy had 7,600 yards for his career. It's just not a Hall of Fame career. He had 3 Hall of Fame years.
Wait a second. Everybody relax. He's number 61 on the list.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Let me ask you something. What is Tiki Barber? How many did he have?
10,400 yards.
10,400, 10,000. He was number 28 on the list, 10,449 yards. He played for 9 years. Tiki Barber played from 97 to 2006. The other guy played from 95 to 2001 with 7,607 yards. Listen, did he have a good run somewhere along the line? Yeah, probably.
He had three great years.
Oh, come on, man. You're grasping at straws now. If he wasn't a Denver Bronco, you wouldn't be carrying this argument on. I'm sorry.
Tiki's last 5 years, and again, you go back to OJ Anderson. OJ Anderson had 10,000 yards. He's not getting in the Hall of Fame. Again, it's not a total thing, but you got to be in the ballpark. To me, Jeff, we always talk about numbers. If you're a baseball player, 500 homers, 300 wins. Football players as a running back, 10,000 yards is usually the number. You get 10,000 yards as a running back, you're going in the Hall of Fame.
Listen, let me ask you something. I'm going to give you a couple names. Tell me if they're in the Hall of Fame from the best of your knowledge. All right. Ricky Williams.
Not in the Hall of Fame.
10,009 yards. Otis Anderson, you said, not in the Hall of Fame. Right? Marshawn Lynch.
I don't think he's in there. That's one I'm not sure about.
He just retired in 2019. He might not be eligible.
He's eligible just now, though. But yeah,
Eddie George,
not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, Tiki Barber,
not a Hall of Famer yet.
Thomas Jones,
not a Hall of Famer.
Jamal Lewis,
not a Hall of Famer.
Ricky Waters,
not a Hall of Famer.
Warwick Dunn,
not a Hall of Famer.
All right, and then we jump into the 11,000s, which is LaShawn McCoy, O.J. Simpson, 11,236 yards at the time of his retirement, was not number 22 on the all-time list. So
he was probably two.
Was different,
and he only played 12 games a season. I mean, it's a different thing. And again, I'm not knocking Terrell Davis as a player. He had 3 really good years, one Hall of Fame year.
This is you guys at 20 paces having a pissing contest, trying to splash each other, and neither one of you is making contact.
I'm just listen. To me, it's a simple thing.
But it does mean something, though, Frank, because this guy, Terrell Davis, that you're sticking up for, good player, but not a great player. 4 great years. I don't know. 4 great years.
Frank? 1 year he had 1,100 yards. I'm not telling you it's something to sneeze at. It ain't great. It's a really good season. Don't get me wrong, but that's not a great.
How many yards did he have? Hold on. Let me go back to the list.
7,600 yards.
7,600 yards. Okay.
In 7 years.
All right. Hold up now. Just relax. Everybody relax. I want to try to get his, I can't, 2,000 yards, you said? What was his
1 year, 2,008 yards. 2008.
2,080 yards?
2,008 yards. That was
said?
Great. Yes.
2,008 yards. So that means that he had 5,609 yards, I guess.
Yep.
Overall, after you take that year out in 7 years, 6 years.
In 6 years. So he averaged less than 1,000 yards the rest of his career.
But the only thing I can say in his defense, that was before the NFL became a passing league, and he did have John Elway as his quarterback, no? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
sure.
He did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hurt or not, dude, he's still, I don't know.
Again, I'm not telling you he wasn't a good player. All I'm saying is he had one great Hall of Fame year and 2 or 3 other good years. Well, one other great year, the 1,700 yards. Other than that, and yeah, the guy didn't play the last 3 years of his career. You can't say, well, he would have. I didn't see Gale Sayers play. I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Famer or not. I never saw him play. I saw Terrell Davis play. That's why I comment on that, because I saw it.
Gale Sayers?
I never saw Gale Sayers play.
Yeah, I know, but I know he was an all-timer.
That's what they say.
I remember when Jim Brown was the leader with 12,000 yards. I never even know where he was.
Frankie, you're just sticking up for him because he's a Denver Bronco. If he was a Denver Bronco, I never heard you screaming that Tiki Barber's not in the Hall of Fame. Tiki Barber's a better running back than Terrell Davis. There's not even a doubt in my mind. His last 5 years on bad teams,
running back.
On his last 5 years on a bad team, he was rushing for 1,500 yards a year. Last 5 seasons, the guy had more yards. The guy has as many yards in 5 years as Terrell Davis had in his entire career on bad teams that didn't go to Super Bowls. So please, it's not. You can have your fandom, you can wear his jersey and all that, and that's fine. I'm listen. You should be a fan. It's the same way I feel about Eli. So I'm with you. But my opinion, and I'll go to the grave with it. Terrell Davis should not be wearing a gold jacket. So the segue into the greatest running back of all time and why. It's simple. Barry Sanders is the greatest runner of the football ever. Barry Sanders played on some of the worst teams there ever was with not one. I think if he had one Hall of Famer, I don't think he even had a Pro Bowler ever. But Walter Payton's the best running back of all time. He catch, run, throw. Walter Payton's the most complete football running back I've ever seen. Barry Sanders is the best runner of the football I've ever saw. That's my opinions. Would you? Yeah, I'm
sorry. I had to write that to you. I'm sorry. What would you asking me that question?
I intended to absolutely, Jeff. Absolutely.
What
I said was
Matt
asked who's the greatest running back of all time. So I said Barry Sanders is the best runner of the football I ever saw, and Walter Payton's the best running back I ever saw.
Walter Payton was like watching, unbelievable what he did with the football.
Yep.
But you know what? We got to watch football at a time. We've seen a lot of players. I understand we've all been watching football a long time. We got to watch a lot of different players throughout the years.
Yeah.
Some of them better than others. Some of them, their careers were cut short. Some of them, they left early. Look at Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders could have been maybe the greatest running back of all time. The guy walked away from the game in his prime. He walked away.
Mm-hmm.
No,
listen. I'm with you. Again, Frank, you can sulk tonight. I see you're only pissed off, and that's fine. Tiki Barber is an all-around better back than Terrell Davis, hands down. Better receiver, better runner, had a better career, hands down. You can argue that point all you want. There ain't no arguing. Terrell Davis had a Hall of Fame season for sure. He did not have a Hall of Fame career. Tiki Barber is a better back, and he'll probably not get in the Hall of Fame, and that's a shame. But that's okay. He ain't getting there if he ain't worthy. But
listen, if it's a fucking 40-year waiting list to get on the Hall of Fame, he has a chance.
That's true.
Which I think is a travesty in its own, man.
Yeah. So we can go back and forth all you want. Yeah.
Look at this. I can't believe this. This is childish, Frank Catalano. Stop it now.
Again, this is how I know I got to him because
Curtis Martin is the best out of the three of them. Curtis Martin is the best running back.
I would agree with that. I think Curtis Martin he's a Hall of Famer.
I'm going to say something right now. You're going to say no, I'm nuts. But you want to know something? If I had to take my pick between Terrell Davis and Breece Hall, I would go with Breece Hall.
Well, that's Breece Hall's great back. It's a great back. Frankie, I loved Earl Campbell too. Problem for Earl Campbell was a short window, but boy, oh boy, that was a great running back. College, and through the pros. Oh, I love Earl Campbell.
Was like a bus, man.
Oh my God!
I remember watching all those games where he used to get his jersey ripped off. He had the tearaway jersey. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Earl Campbell.
Frank, take Tiki Barber's last 5 years. 5 years, he has more yards in his last 5 than Terrell Davis had in his whole career. Think about that. His last 5 is better than Terrell Davis's entire 7-year career. 5 years. And then let's throw receiving yards. And the fact that Terrell Davis played on Super Bowl teams, Tiki Barber never played on a Super Bowl winning team. And the team that he did play on was 6 years before he retired. So again, you can keep going. It's fine with me. I don't care. I think you're only probably hurting your cred on this show by even trying to have this conversation because you're not looking at it as an objective observer. Terrell Davis should turn back in his gold jacket and say, I got this under false pretenses because all the people there really like me. That's the only reason why he's Hall of Famer.
You're saying, let me get this straight. You're saying that he should hand in the jacket?
He should turn in the jacket and say, I don't deserve to be a Hall of Famer when there's guys like Tiki Barber out there who had better careers than I did. And Otis Anderson had a great career. Guy, Otis Anderson won 2 Super Bowls and won as an MVP, has 10,000 yards. How's he not in there before Terrell Davis? 10,000 yards.
I know why Terrell Davis is in there.
Why? Because he's friends with John Elway, probably.
Yeah, his boy got him in.
Absolutely, 100%. There's no other reason why he's in the Hall of Fame. And ahead of those guys. Again.
Listen, when they go into that room to vote,
yep,
and there's a box on the table for everybody, with love from Terrell.
Yeah.
And they open it up and there's a Rolex, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, I'm not telling you that he didn't have good. If again, it's fine. The problem is it's only the playoffs. Give me his regular season. His regular season is barely 1,000 yards. Barely 1,000 yards a season. How is that a Hall of Fame career? It's not. It's barely. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm like I say, I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm not going to change my opinion on this. Terrell Davis not a Hall of Fame. I love you, Frank. I appreciate you being every week. You're never going to convince me, and I'm never going to convince you. So all I can say is, if you're objective,
no. Listen,
you want to be objective. Go look at O.J. Anderson and tell me how Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame, and O.J. Anderson, who won an MVP, played in 2 Super Bowls, has 2 rings, has 10,000 yards, better than 10,000 yards, yet he's not in the Hall of Fame. And Terrell Davis somehow managed to slide into the Hall of Fame. I would check the voting from that year too. The Belichick year now and that year, and see how he got in. That's my opinion. And I love you, Frank. Anyway.
No, I think...
Frankie, all I can tell you is I was right on Danny Dimes. You saw what he did this year. So you can say all you want about Danny Dimes. The guy's proved that he can play football in this league. And if he doesn't get hurt, he was in the conversation for MVP. But he got hurt. So it takes him out of that whole conversation. But Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. Now, can he stay healthy enough to prove it? That's not my point.
This is great. This is great. Oh, no. Please. Why did you bring that fucking name up, man? Come on. When I was a kid, before you guys met Tommy thought he was Rob Carpenter.
That's right.
This is not good, man.
Listen, Rob Carpenter's just my favorite player. That's it. I don't put him in any categories. I like the way the guy played the game. He was an all-around good back, and that's what I liked about Rob Carpenter. And he got me into the Giants. Before Rob Carpenter, I was a Giant fan who loved Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett. And I rooted for those guys when they weren't playing the Giants, and I was a closet Cowboy fan. Once Rob Carpenter came to the Giants, I was a full-time New York Giant fan, and I will always be very grateful for that. So I'm just sad I never got to meet the guy. But anyway.
Dude, you spelled stupid wrong. I just saying.
Frank, you can't call Cowboy fans stupid when you can't spell it. Sorry, Frank. Daniel Jones is not suck, Frank.
This has to be one of the greatest conversations I've ever witnessed. I am tired and I can't wait to relax. Matt, I hope this goes on for months.
Hey, Matt, would you agree with me, Matt, that Terrell Davis is an overrated, shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame running back, and Tiki Barber is a better back? You have to agree with me just going by stats alone and what you watch. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Please, Matt, jump in on this. I got to hear Matt's opinion on this.
Wow. He spelled Terrell wrong.
I wouldn't give him the benefit of spelling his name correct.
Oh my God.
That's how I feel about that. But again, so Matt, maybe you can answer that for me. Let's see. Okay, so sorry. Anyway, so this past weekend's game. So the other game. So anyway, let's get. So I think that the Patriot Bronco game was a really good football game, and it was coached properly other than one play. Stidham did his best, and I thought he was really good early, and I think the momentum changed it, and I think the Patriots figured it out, and the last 3 quarters he was in over his head. But I'm not blaming the guy. I think he did an admirable job, especially in the conditions, Jeff. The wind was crazy. Thank you, Matt. I knew you would agree with me. I think he did an admirable job. He did ultimately cost his team the game. That backwards pass thing was the nail in the coffin. but I won't blame him for it. And I think he did a nice job, but he in no way was going to win that game based on everything around him. Sean Payton blew it. The other game people want to talk about, Jeff, though, is the end of the first quarter, the end of the first half of the Rams-Seahawks game. And people are getting on Sean McVay. So there's a minute and change left. They're down a few points. I'm trying to think. It was probably 3. I think they were down 3. And he was trying to score a late touchdown or get points late. And they wound up giving the ball back to the Seahawks, who had a minute and change left. They threw a couple passes. They didn't have to use their timeouts. And the Seahawks go down and score a touchdown. Now, I'm not going to blame McVay. He didn't go for any fourth downs that I can remember. But I'm not blaming McVay there. You want to try to put points on the board there. You will make a sacrifice, and you hope your defense is good enough to make a stop if you don't make the plays. So there are times where you're down, you're going into halftime, you're trying to get a couple points there. It wasn't impossible to get. So I'm not blaming McVay. I thought it was a well-played game. And Seattle, to me, just came out of there. Their defense, especially their secondary, was just the better unit on the field that day. And I was happy to see them win. And I really love seeing Cooper Kupp with the touchdown and the first down that basically nailed the game shut. So good football game. I did do my research. I watched Terrell Davis play, and he was not a Hall of Famer. So what do you want me to look at? I looked at his stats, not a Hall of Famer. I watched him play, not a Hall of Famer. Should give back his jacket, not a Hall of Famer. Should not go to any of the enshrinement ceremonies because he's not a Hall of Famer. It's almost, all right, I'll say it. It's embarrassing that Terrell Davis shows up at enshrinements and says, I'm as good as Walter Payton, because he's not. He's not a Hall of Famer as good as Walter Payton or Barry Sanders or even Emmitt Smith, who I think is a bit overrated. So, I know I do my research. I watch football. I watched all of his career, didn't watch every game because, he sucked. So why would I watch him? So anyway, I'm done with the Hall of Fame.
That was a little rough, man.
It's not rough. Don't tell me I have to do my research. I do. I just gave you the numbers. The guys he doesn't have numbers. I got the eye test. I watched him play. If you told me, is Gail Sayers? I say I never saw the guy play, and his numbers aren't great, but I didn't see the guy play.
Chuck Muncie.
I like Chuck Munsky's his
those
face.
glasses he used to wear.
The glasses and the face guard. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Frank's not gonna give up. So even more reason, Frank. He didn't play enough football. He only played 80 games. Why? How can he be a Hall of Fame? He played 80 games, please.
He didn't even play 80 games.
Yeah. Yes. Roger Craig was a really good back. I just never thought of him as a Hall of Famer. And the problem is he got buried on a team with Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, Steve Young.
There were better options on the team
as
far as Hall of Fame representatives on the 49ers than Roger Craig is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'll give Craig, the one thing I'll give Craig, and Matt, this is back to the innovative thing. Roger Craig did stuff then that nobody was doing. Like he was getting 1,000 yards as a runner and a receiver. He was a hell of a good player. I rooted for him at Nebraska. Again, a really good play. I just never felt like watching him. I was watching a Hall of Fame career. If he got in, it wouldn't bother me because I think he did a lot of stuff. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer, Jeff. You watch him. Do you think he was a Hall of Famer?
Roger Craig?
Yeah.
I thought he was already in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you. But you know something? The Niners had a lot of great players in that
sure. Era. Absolutely.
And one of them had to be the least of the good ones, and I guess it was Roger Craig.
Maybe. I mean, even who was that second receiver? John, was it John?
Wait, hold on, Frank. Not for nothing, Roger Craig is supposedly not in the Hall of Fame. Did he make the Hall of Fame? He didn't make the Hall of Fame, did he?
He didn't make the Hall of Fame yet. I'm just saying this. If he makes the Hall of Fame, he's not in the Hall of Fame as far as I know.
So that is a correct statement. He is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. The fucking Rangers, they suck this year. Holy cow.
Not for nothing. The Rangers are bad this year.
Oh,
man.
my
Bad,
God. It's
bad,
sad. Yo, I'm
like
tired.
ways to lose.
Yeah, I am tired of Adam Fox. I'm really tired. To me, I love Shesterkin, and I know he hasn't played great. He's been hurt for a while now. To me, it's almost like you got to kind of – everybody's got to go. The coach has got to go. The team's got to go. You got to just bring up the wolf pack or something, start all over. I don't know what they need, but it's just a bad culture there, and I don't know if it's, getting rid of Kreider took the wind out of the sails of this team. I'm not sure what happened, but boy, oh boy, not only are they bad, they are just putrid bad. And it's John Taylor. That's the one I was looking for. So
that's the other wide receiver.
I don't think Roger Craig was a Hall of Famer. I'll be honest with you. I would, if he got in, it wouldn't bother me because he did a lot of good stuff, but I just never felt like I was watching a Hall of Famer. And he was kind of a product of being on a team with John Taylor and Brent Jones and some of these guys who Montana, Young. But again, it's not a travesty if he got in. I don't know what his numbers are. I never looked up Roger Craig.
I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, I never kind of looked him up. If he got in, again, there was a couple of years where he was getting
number 47. I hate to say this. He was 47th on the list, right, with 8,189 yards. He finished 14 spots ahead of Terrell Davis.
Yeah,
and he was a few spots behind your boy Tiki Barber. And he played 10 years.
Yeah, again, I just don't feel like he was. How many yards receiving did he have, Jeff?
I don't know if I could get that. Let me see from the website I'm on. It just
you got to use the research one. Let me look up Roger.
I don't know how to get to it. Seasons. Hold on. Maybe this is it.
You want to?
I don't know what the fuck. No, I don't want to waste too much time on this. To be honest with you, Tom.
No problem. I'm just seeing if I can find it. Roger Craig. Why am I getting Roger Craig Smith? Who the fuck's Roger Craig Smith? Okay, hold on. Here it is. Pro Football Reference. That's what I use all the time. So, let's see. He had. Okay, so hit for a 17-game average. He had 205 rushing attempts, 800. He averaged 844 yards a season, 6 touchdowns. He had a total of 5,000 yards receiving. 5,000 yards receiving. Again, it's really good touchdowns. Let's see. He had 56 rushing touchdowns and 17 receiving touchdowns, which seems very light to me, but that's what it says. Again, I think he was a good player. Would I put him in the Hall of Fame? He averaged 844 yards rushing a year. I mean, how's that Hall of Fame? But again, if I add it in with the receiving yards of 500 yards, he's got 1,300 yards. Again, if he gets in, would I scream and yell? I don't know. I just don't think that's Hall of Fame numbers.
Who, Roger Craig? He won. How many Super Bowl winning teams has he been on? Again, and didn't he have a couple Super Bowl winning catches or something?
I don't think so. I don't think he even won an MVP in the Super Bowl. So again, just because you're on, I mean, again, this isn't a team that he was the best player on. I mean, I would say he's 4th or 5th on the depth chart of great players on that team. I mean, Joe Cloak's putting it out there with those guys. So, AI compares Terrell Davis to Ezekiel Elliott. LOL. Yeah, again, I think Roger Craig's a really good player. Again, he had a couple of years. He had his best year was 1988. He had 1,500 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving. So that's a really good back then, especially 2,000 yards. But it's 1 year. Other than that, it's kind of like. Another. Oh, I'm sorry. He had another good year. In '85, he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. So I mean, there's some arguments there. I just don't. Frank is fixated on Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber's a better player, Frank. Let's face it. Everybody's saying it, but you. You're the only person. That is saying that Terrell Davis is better than Tiki Barber. So. I get it.
No, I'm sorry. I gotta throw my hat in the ring on this one. Do you mind?
No, please.
I'm gonna go with Team Catalano on this one because he's by himself, adrift in a sea of what he doesn't know, and I can see he's furiously pounding away at the keyboard. Yeah. Frank, I'm with you. Terrell Davis, he's not as good as Tiki Barber, but for this instance, I'm going with you. I don't want you to be alone out there, man.
Look at this. The Jet fan and the Bronco fan come together.
You said that it would happen. Here I am, bro. I am here.
Yes. Yeah. And, again, I'm not going to sit there and knock. I mean, Harry Carson got in eventually. Gradishaw got in, even though Harry Carson was a better linebacker than Randy Gradishaw. I loved Randy Gradishaw. I did. I loved that defense for the Broncos. I fantastic. I loved Randy Gradishaw. Thought he should have gotten in, but and for years I said Joe Klecko was the guy who deserved to be in the Hall of Fame and has been passed for years. My new mantle is Carl Banks. Carl Banks should be in the Hall of Fame. Bar none. That guy was great. You can say that.
This is so great. I loved it. This is fucking awesome. This has to be Frank Catalano. You making this the best show. Because you can't stop. It's great. It's fucking great. I can't believe this. This is, oh my God. You're going to explode tonight, man. We're going to read about you in the paper tomorrow. Explode.
Carl Banks is going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God. Dude, you got to slow down, man. Your head is going to blow up, bro. I hope you don't have high blood pressure, Frank, because if you do, it's got to be in the 4,000s right about now.
I was afraid we weren't going to have enough material for tonight's show. Well, I think the votes are in, and it's pretty unanimous. Tiki Barber is way better than Terrell Davis. Had a great career, and I think, Jeff, if Terrell Davis was a man, he'd go to Tiki Barber's house, give him his jacket and his ring, and say, "You deserve this more than I do."
Wow.
That's what I think. If he would be magnanimous. I would almost say I would vote him into my Hall of Fame if he did the right thing and gave Tiki his jacket and ring.
The Tommy Florio Hall of Fame, man. Wow.
I would actually
be gold jackets there.
Not many, Jeff. You do.
I got wow. I ain't seen that fucking jacket yet. I don't know what it is.
He just keeps hitting the repeat button right there. This might rival the Dominic years.
This is our new Dom.
It might be.
Can we call him the half man?
No, Frank's having a rough day. He got laid off, and we're sorry, Frank. I don't revel in that. That sucks at this point in your life. I've been there the last few years. I know exactly what you're going through, and it's gonna be fine. And you'll get over the fact that Terrell Davis is not a Hall of Famer.
Dude, he's not even listening to what you're saying right now. Look what he just wrote now.
Sorry.
Oh my God! Come on,
it's the best. Anyway, we're gonna get to a lot of football stuff again next week. We'll talk about the Super Bowl. We're gonna get past everything else. I hope you guys have something to do this weekend. Frank will be sending me stuff about Terrell Davis all weekend, so I don't have to worry about me. I'll have plenty to read.
Frank, when this show's over, you need to fucking light a candle, shut the lights in your house, put on Pornhub, and relax.
Again,
you need to beat out some fucking tension.
Yes, I hope you guys have a great week because this has been a lot of fun tonight. Again, I hope you can't do it now. The NFL, the Hall of Fame can't come up now and go, all right, we made a mistake and Bill Belichick's getting in. So Belichick's out this year. Eli's out this year. We'll see who gets in next week. I think next Thursday night is the NFL honors. We'll see who the MVP is and all that stuff. And we'll do our Super Bowl show next week, and we'll do a recap and put the NFL season behind us in a couple weeks. And then we got Olympics coming up. We got 250 years celebration of this country coming up. It's a big year this year, big year for the show. And of course, we got the Hard Rocket Sports Band getting ready to get out there. Good night, Joe Cloak. You're right, Matt. He certainly is. And we got the Hard Rocket Sports Band getting ready to get out there and play a show come up in May. We'll give you more details. Hopefully, we'll practice this weekend. If not, we're getting ready. So I appreciate everybody.
Make a call on that quickly.
What do you say?
We're gonna have to make a call on that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of waiting until Saturday morning, but we could make that call tomorrow. I mean, I'm more concerned about like Ronnie and Paul and guys who are driving distances, myself included. But I'm nutty. But I don't want to put anybody in a bad spot. We can wait a couple weeks and try again. I don't think it's going to kill anybody. I don't want to wait till last minute either and cause John a problem. So we'll they do suck, Frank. I agree. But we'll have a conversation tomorrow afternoon and make a decision.
Listen, you know what? I think that the NFL should do like the schools do and little leagues. Participation trophy for everybody. Everybody gets in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's how Terrell Davis got in. He got a participation trophy.
If you watch more than one game of football in your life, you're eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's how Terrell got his. That's for sure. That's for sure. So, anyway, I love it. I thank you all for tuning in. A lot of people tuning in with us. This is a lot of fun. Matt, Louie, Joe Cloak, everybody who tuned in with us. That's Frank, of course, who's basically the unofficial third host of the show because he's here every week with us. I do appreciate all you. I love you all, and I appreciate the good-natured fun we have. Although I think Matt's right. I think Frank's right now at home sticking pins in a Tommy Voodoo doll, and that's fine. I'm all for it. In the meantime, Jeff, it's been a good show.
I hope you don't live near him in Jersey because
we're close. We're not that far away. He's in Jackson. I'm only about a half hour away.
Oh boy, he's gonna get you, man.
I appreciate it, Jeff. I had a lot of fun tonight. It was a good show.
Yes, it was.
All right. Well, we'll try it again next week. In the meantime, I hope everybody stays safe this weekend. Be careful of the bomb cyclone that don't get you. Make sure you stock up on eggs and bread and milk. You can't have Frank. You can't have enough of that in your house, Jeff. Right at this point.
You know what? You can't have enough in either. And this is not a paid endorsement, but Entenmann's cake, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm fat. And I enjoy a good Entenmann's cake, even with the diabetes. Once in a while.
What's the cake you go? Is it the chocolate? Is it the chocolate one? Are you a coffee cake guy? Which Entenmann's cake are you going for?
A couple of years ago, there is one I like. It's like the pound cake with the chips in it, or the one with the chocolate mousse frosting in the middle.
Yes.
But I haven't eaten any kind of Entenmann's cakes in so long that at this point in time, it could be made of dog shit. I'd eat it. It doesn't matter. As long as it's in that blue and white box, I'll eat it.
I've been very good on my diet for the last few months, but last weekend I said, you know what, I'm gonna take one weekend and I'm gonna be bad. And my bed of choice was Oreo Cakesters. Have you ever eaten an Oreo Cakester?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's like an Oreo cake, and they have like a chocolate one and they have like a vanilla one. And I must have ate 4 of those, and it was the best. They were the best. And
you were left alone, man. When I'm left alone, bad things happen.
Yeah, no, I did not eat too bad, but I did eat 4 Oreo cakes. They're like this big. They're like an Oreo cookie size, but just doubled up. Yeah, I know you have your Vita Guerrera. I know, Matt, please. Oh my God, that guy is fixated on that poor woman. Please. So, but again, so this weekend, if you
come and gone.
If you get a chance, Jeff, make sure you'll stock up on your cakes and make sure you have all the stuff in the house. And hopefully I'll see you on Sunday.
Yes. And is that Frank Catalano? Is that because he was in 2 games?
He said goodnight 10 minutes ago. He's still throwing up Terrell Davis. Frank.
Oh, I'm telling you, he's insane right now. He's going
Frank,
nuts.
I love you. I love you. I think Jeff's got a better chance. Jeff should be in the Hall of Fame before Terrell Davis. I think Jeff had a better career. Jeff sprinting down the ShopRite aisle to Entenmann's Cakes is better than what I saw from Terrell Davis in his career. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But I hopefully will see Jeff this Sunday at band practice. If I don't, maybe we'll get together and we get to play some more games for hockey and Madden games, and we'll definitely chat online. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Have a great night, and I do appreciate it. So for Jeff and myself, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. And come on back next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together and do this all over again. So for Jeff, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rocket Sports, Thanks for helping out tonight. We'll see you next week. Hefe, I'll talk to you off the air.
All right. Next week, we're doing the same thing. Terrell Davis versus Tiki Barber, or are we picking a different running back combination? What?
Well, I might have to go after John Elway next week. I might have to be John Elway next week.
Oh,
How he's overrated. But that's a different show.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a different show. Do you think Witness? No, I don't think Witness is a Hall of Famer, you fucking maniacs. Get out, everybody. See you everybody next time. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Later, bro.
Later, everybody.
Bye.